December 20, German Impulse. We have a card to activate this corps, and we're going to get these pieces activated and continue to push west towards the Meuse River, since that is our main objective of the game, to get victory points, is to get across that river and exit pieces off the map. So until the Allies get that big gap plugged, we're going to continue to run through it. So again, activating all units in this corps. We do not have to do roadblock checks unless we're moving next to a victory point hex now. We do have to continue with blown bridge checks. And by activating this corps, we have to do a roadblock check here. We'll cross our fingers that we don't get a 5 or less on that. Otherwise, we're going to have to deal with that. 4. All right, so that's going to become an allied, more than likely, is going to become an allied piece. So, on the roadblock check, reserve check, place an allied reserve unit in the hex. Place reserve or out of contact unit from the same army as the on-map unit closest to position. For starters, there are none in the reserve box. So we need to find an out of contact. The closest army, this is probably not going to result in anything. Well, I take that back. Pieces already on the board, I think, can probably relocate down here. The closest army will be the U.S. first. Okay, so as long as there is an out of contact piece, let's get this back. Place a reserve or out of contact unit from the same army as the on-map unit closest to the position. If none available, no unit placed. If more than one is available, select a reserve unit before an out of contact unit. We have no reserve units. If possible, take a unit in the same division as the closest allied unit. If none, then the same corps. If a choice remains, take the lowest numbered unit. All right. That's the closest army. So do we have anything in the 30th division that would be considered out of contact? We have the 30th division here. There's 2 pieces in the hex. If you look up the out of contact stuff, actually, do we have a German unit proximate? Yes, 1, 2, 3. So this piece is proximate. Therefore, if there's 5 or more steps, but there's only 4, or a combat strength of 8 or more, then we could take one. Those aren't true. There are no more units of the 30th. So next is to check a unit in the same corps. So XVII. German unit is proximate. Possibly this one. No. Well, I'm going to say no, because if we removed, this piece cannot move here because you cannot go from German zone of control to German zone of control. If we removed this piece, we're essentially leaving a gap in the line. because this piece now could go to here, okay? So I'm saying, without looking up some other rules, that we're not allowed to remove that piece as out of contact. Those aren't. So those are all in contact. So now we need to look at any unit in the Army, but the lowest numbered unit. So this one is out of, nothing up here. Nothing up here is out of contact. This one is out of contact, and let me check that one. He could break. If he broke the roadblock, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are out of contact, and this is out of contact. So it's going to be the lowest numbered piece. So we have the little number in the bottom middle, 6, 5, and 4, 7. So it's this third armored piece is in St Hubert. For us Germans, that's unfortunate. Okay, so now we resume with our activation and moving pieces. So instead of running rampant up these roads, we now have an allied piece in the way. So we have to decide if we want to deal with that or keep running behind it. So they're going to keep him occupied. That's going to keep that occupied. I'm probably going to need to deal with a piece somewhere down here. Let's get moving first. Let's see. We've got the lair. We've got all of the 2P. Okay. Since that's a victory point town, this piece is not going to move off of that with the German unit this close. So we're going to run for the Muse. I cannot do strategic movement with this piece because this is currently an allied town. So strategic movement is where the movement of 5 could become 10 as long as I stay on roads, I don't cross through an allied town, I don't cross an allied bridge. So he's got a movement of 5 if he stays on the road. That's what we're going to do. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is now an German town. All right. I could opt to break contact here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and take this fuel depot. I think we might do that. So I have other pieces down here that will keep him in St Hubert. Let's do that. So that's 1, 2, breaking contact. 3, 4, 5. The fuel is a no fuel. And that's now a German town. Okay. The 2P. All right, again, this piece is not going to move off of this victory point hex with German units that close. So I don't have risk of this piece moving down. at some point it would be nice to have that town. It's got a bridge. Okay, keep that in mind. Let's get these rolling. This first one, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to do a bridge check. You know what? We're going to do it with this other piece first. This one. 1, 2, 3. We have to do a bridge demolition check because this side of it is in Allied supply. So a 1 or a 2 will blow the bridge. It's a 7. Now, I'm going to show you why I just did that. That was his third movement. This is his fourth, crossing the bridge. You know what, I might. Let's bring him down to here. We'll leave him right there for purposes of defenses. Now, by me crossing that bridge, it is now considered a German-controlled bridge. Therefore, I can use it to trace a supply line. Okay. If I've not crossed it, it's still considered Allied control. Alrighty. This layer piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or do we want to strengthen here? I'll come back to that one. We have 3 units here. We have a blown bridge there. We can cross this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I probably want to have some strength on this side of that river to attack that town. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a piece. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the broken, so I can use the road next time. This one, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And this last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there, at some point, there could be an Allied check to protect the victory point hex. As long as, you know, if there's a German unit within 2 hexes, he's going to stay put. Or if there's a German unit proximate, he's going to stay put. All right. So we have essentially spread out that corps. This piece did not move. He's therefore eligible to build an improved position. Okay. Bastogne is more or less still protected because no Allied piece can move directly in there. There's potential the Allies could deploy pieces on some of these around here. He'll eventually dig in. I'll probably leave him there and build an improved position. All right, that's it. That used 3 command level points. That's the end of the German impulse. We return to the Allies. Okay, well, that could have been a much more detrimental card if they had a bunch of reserve units in the box. They don't. So going through the checklist, there are no specials for the day. Next will be, there's nothing, deploy. Deploy also means check for out of contact. So potentially that card would be redeploying this piece because he's out of contact. These two are now, they have a strength of 8. So yes, we're going to be redeploying some pieces. So the deploy all 1st Army Reserves, we'll be using this. So again, no units in the reserve box. Check out of contact units using method A. So let's refresh out of contact units real quick. It's 9.3. Actually, I think we have that on here. .3. Not surrounded, the lowest numbered unit in a stack containing at least 5 steps or 8 strength points. That has 8 strength points. Therefore, the lowest numbered unit, the one on top here, 05, can be considered as out of contact. Okay? And this one, because, hold on, there's no German unit proximate to that piece. I would have to stop if I'm moving up this road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does not get me there. So this is also out of contact. So we are potentially going to redeploy these two. Would have to be in this part of the map though. Yep, that's going to work because there's open road. All right. It's the rules working. Empty position. Units core area, able to trace supply. German unit proximate. Let's just check those out first. Core area. German unit proximate. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So potentially all the way up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that one too, technically. Okay. So on this first piece, so those are empty positions in the core area, can trace supply, German unit is proximate, not in danger of surround, not in German city. Okay. So then, within 3 hexes of a unit of the same division. So that means we need to look at this one or this one because they're within 3 hexes. So those 3 aren't eligible. Then it will say highest hold value, then westernmost. That's a 2, that's a 3. So this piece is deployed there. Now we can check this one, but I don't think, in there's area from here above, there is no position to which a German unit is proximate. I cannot move to any of these position hexes. Therefore, that was not eligible to be redeployed. And that would conclude the deploy reserves on that card. Okay. So again, the intelligence of the rules worked. Basically put a halt to him advancing and continued to close their gap. All right. Oh, After my last German impulse, I did not draw my 2 cards. Let's do that right quick. All right. Let's do a quick pause and I'll look at what I'm going to do. All right. We're going to try to make something happen up here. We're going to use the 6th Panzer Army card, and we're going to activate 1 6th Army Corps. Specifically, we're going to activate the 1 SS. So that's all the yellow band pieces. And we're going to try and move that piece if we can. I'm going to use a Combat Engineers to prevent any improved position in case that pops up, and there could be a combat chit that gives us a point for that. I don't want to use this card or this card because I want to continue doing what I can there. Fixed artillery. The range today on the 20th is 4, German FAR. 1, 2, oh, excellent. So right there is a west wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use a fixed artillery also. Okay. All right, so let's figure out what we're going to move. Two. All right. For certain, I want that division moved up. Six. And that one, and that one. I'm going to move this piece back. Okay. I'm going to move this piece up. The reason I'm doing that is the strength points. Piper here has 3 steps, so I could not have added him with the 2-step and the 2-step unit. So this will allow him to get up in here also. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no flank attack because I don't have an infantry infiltration unless I choose to use that card for that, which I don't think I want to do. So yeah, we're using the fixed artillery. I'm going to lay that over here now. And on these 2, I've got 2 combat engineers to choose from. Now, whichever one I don't use will give me an option of either activating 3 PG at a later time or Piper or the 150. So I would be able to activate these and do some kind of a move, probably to help strengthen, or Piper could be activated I might keep that one in case I have the opportunity to, if we win here, that piece could get activated at a later impulse and maybe run back here. So we're going to use this combat engineer card. Now, before I start my attack, I want to see if there's anything else I want to do. I do have some more units tied up back in here. I probably would like to eventually attack those. I'm going to let them sit for now and utilize them when I do attack those units. The next day they'll be out of supply, so that'll be to our advantage a little bit. I don't think I want to attack them now. Or do I want to move a piece off? That would cost me... Does he have zone of control? Yes, he exerts zone of control. So if I move this piece off, he could get as far as here. 1, 2, 3. In another turn, he could move all of to here. 2, 3 to here. I'm just going to leave those other pieces there because I'm going to anticipate attacking those at some point. All right. So that has a defensive 5. We'll be attacking with a strength of 14, 20, 21, 26 to 5. So we are going to have 5-to-1 odds. Steps attacking will be 3. There's 5 unbracketed units. Elite would make it 6. More than 2 steps would make it 7. 2 more cards would make it 9. So my max chit draw will be 9. 5-to-1. I've got artillery involved. I have combat engineers involved. So let's get rolling. So he's got 3 strength points. Oh, he gets to draw a card. Today is the 20th. Excellent. He would have drawn combat engineers. He would have put up an improved position. So, the combat engineers tactic I played prevented that. Oh, add 1 to the attacker's combat strength. In addition, remove an IP marker from defender's hex. Disregard allied combat tactics calling for placement of an IP. I didn't know I got to add 1 to my combat strength. We were at 26. It becomes 27 to 5. That part has no effect. So we'll draw our 3 minimum. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There's a blue one, so the rest of them go back in the bucket. Let's reshake it. So those 3 we've got. It's not 5th Panther. There's no air power. No defender is adjacent. No supply issues. We're going to have attacker artillery. So there's 1 hit so far. And I already forgot what my max draw was. So it was 5 pieces. Elite makes 6. More than 2 steps makes 7, 8, 9. I'm going to draw all 6 more to take it to my max. So 6 of these. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. No supply issues or defenders adjacent. We have attacker artillery. Thank goodness we played that. It is a large attack because we have 7 or more chits being drawn. No defender adjacent. We're in a forest, so that one applies. And we were at 5-to-1 odds. Okay. So these two will offset. There's 3 defender hits to take, no attacker hits. So let's just step through the hit rules. Okay, they have 3 steps. Okay. And they have to take 3 hits. If hits is greater than or equal to steps, retreat 1 hex. Okay. Into a hex not in enemy zone of control. So they will be able to retreat here or here. One of those 2. Any terrain, into forest via, so both forest options to retreat are via road. Okay. Then we're going to fall down to, if more, let's see, if more than one choice, enter town or city. If none, enter the hex in the withdrawal direction, blah, blah, blah. So essentially, of the 2 choices, he's going to follow the preferred retreat direction. So that will be their first hit. Okay. So there's hit number 1. Now, they've not retreated 2. If hits is greater than steps, they have 2 hits, 3 steps. No. If losing a step would cause them to exert no zone of control, retreat 1 hex. They could lose a step and still have zone of control because 2 bracketed pieces gives the zone of control. So, if losing a step would cause them to have no zone of control. So now we're going to calculate a hold chance. Hold value of hex, number of steps in defending units. Nope, nope, nope. We've retreated 1 hex. So the hold value is nothing. They have 3 steps and they've retreated 1 hex. So 5. So a 5 or less, they hold and take a step loss. 8. They will retreat 1 more hex. So back to the not in allied zone of control. He won't go into a forest unless it's along a road. So it's going to be here or here. The preferred retreat, since there's more than one choice, is following the little blue arrow. So they will retreat to here. And they will disperse. And that takes care of the second step loss. Third, okay, we have retreated 2 hexes, therefore a step loss. And since, it's going to be the lowest numbered unit with the most steps, so this piece is going to flip as opposed to removing that one. So they now have 2 units, each with bracketed strength, 1 step each. They are dispersed. Okay. And let's throw the chips to the side. We can now do attacker advance. So I can always follow him into here as the first one. I can follow into the forest down the road here. I can follow in the forest on the road there. I would not be allowed to go here to here because the second hex would be into a forest without a road. Same with this. I could not go here to here because this does not have a road. And here is where we're going to clearly follow him down that road some and go this way. So this stack, 12 SS, 12 SS, 1 SS. For starters, I know I want to take this unit up because that's the one I could activate on a later impulse. So I'm going to hopefully be able to run him into Verveer. So his 2 hex advance will be that. It would be nice if I have a chance to hit that stack again while it's dispersed. It would also be nice to run more pieces back there. So we're going to put an emphasis on that. I want to have another 1 SS this way. Oh, I can only do 2 because Piper's got 3 strength points. Okay. 12 SS, 12 SS. For the time being, because this does not exert a zone of control right now. Does that matter? 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter. So let's go with strength and send this piece. I'm just going to advance this one 1. That gives me more flexibility to either continue this way or this way or this way. Since if I move here, I could get tied up because of a zone of control. Oh, he's dispersed. He does not currently have it, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and advance this piece also. All right, I think that's it. So clearly that took up 7 command level points. Discard, discard, discard. We've got 2 more, so this is going to be it for the day. So we can do a lot more again with the 1 Panther Corps. All right. Okay. Flip over to the Allies. Impulse. Okay. Today is the 20th, so they will do an Engineers Command event. Replace a roadblock. For starters, there currently are no roadblocks on the map. Place a roadblock in an unoccupied, etc., etc. We're also going to make sure we have a out of contact unit. That's, I believe right now, the only out of contact unit. Oh. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. This one may be out of contact now. No, because that would leave a, no, it would not leave a gap. Yes, it would leave a gap. I'm not going to consider him out of contact because that would expose this line, even though there's a piece back here. I think this would be the best out of contact piece if we're eligible here. Oh, I'm sorry. We're placing a roadblock, not replacing a roadblock. We're going to place a roadblock. Unoccupied road, hold value greater than 3 or equal to 3 within 2 hexes of a supplied German. Okay, so let's look for that. 3 or more within 2 hexes of a German. 3 or more within 2 hexes. That's our town, sorry. Here. Approximate? No. In German and Allied communication, that would be in communication because it could trace this way. Allied. So these two are eligible. This one's eligible. That one is not in German communication. So yeah, we're going to be dealing with these 3. Okay. If more than one, highest hold value. If tied, the westernmost, then northernmost. I'm sorry, roadblock marker. Highest hold value, then westernmost, then northernmost. So of these 3, that position is going to get the roadblock. Okay. Again, it's the highest hold value. So even if we determined that was eligible, it's got a lower hold value. So 4 is the one, without a doubt. All right, so that's the end of that card. So back to the German impulse. We just activated this entire core, so we cannot use any of those cards to activate that core, this impulse. So we're going to have to use one of these. If I use this card only, that would flip back to the Allies, then I could play one of those. If I played this card, that only has a command level value of 2, so I would have to play another card with it, or I could play this card followed by that card to get to my 3 or more command level points. I'm going to pause for a moment and think about